Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. We're going to have another go at it. I just shot this once. I had a technical problem and with my pause button, and I missed the whole middle part of it. So we're starting over again. And as you can see here, this time we're doing something a little different. I've previously done programs on digest sized comics, and I will do more on that in the future. And I've done stuff on the paperback book comic reprints. And this time I wanted to get into the tabloid sized comics. I have a bunch of those all through the 70s, starting in the early 70s through the early 80s. Marvel and DC and some others published a bunch of tabloid sized comics. And so on some of these you may have seen before. I've done some here. For example, this Captain America's Bicentennial battles. I used that once before, covering that. It's a little odd in the writing, but it's still very enjoyable to read. And then this here, just a few weeks ago, I did Destroy. Of course, this is by a different publisher, Eclipse, and this was a little later than that. And this was done specifically for this title. Most of those tabloid-sized comics were reprint material, but there were a few that were done specifically for that edition, such as these two. Neither of these were reprint. They were done specifically for these editions. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's start with this. There's some of the more unusual ones. This one is from actually 1973, and I think it's the oldest one I've got. Herald Head, published by Last Gasp Eco Funnies. And this is an underground comic. The only one I've ever seen like this. Although I've read some Herald Head before. This was, and you can see just regular newsprint paper of 1973, and the Herald Head character was written and drawn by Rand H. Holmes and published by Last Gasp Eco Funnies from Berkeley, California. It's all drug stuff. It's still fun to read. Not something for kids. It has a little bit of sex in there too. And this here, while not a tabloid size, it kind of fits in. This is from the late 90s. Spumco comic book. And it looks kind of weird, the style. Full color. Has some unusual looking art in here. It's a fun book to read. Yeah. It is a real fun book to read. It is, and for those you may not know, Spumco is the studio which produces produced the Ren and Stimpy cartoon animated series. And that's fun. Okay, and this also is unusual. Well, not a tabloid size. This is done as a trade paperback, square bound, as hard-boiled defective stories. Some weird stuff. This was a publication of Raw, from Raw magazine, is done by Charles Burns. And there's his main character, Big Baby. No, Big Baby is from Black Hole. I've forgotten his name. Anyway, you get a look at some of the unusual art, and of course, if you caught my episodes a couple months back about doing the Mouse graphic novel. This is produced by the same people. And here again, slightly different size, but it's close enough for government work. From Pacific Comics Club presents, and I'm not sure what year this was presented as, but it's reprints Flash Gordon daily strips from 1940. And these were drawn. This was done by Austin Briggs. Has some nice artwork. He took over after Alex Raymond left. Has some really nice stuff. Not quite Alex Raymond, but it's very, very good. And I think it might be better than a little better than the artist on this next one, who is not to denigrate, because I really like his work too. And this next one, which is Tabloid Sized Flash Gordon, and this is done by Dan Barry. Some also nice work. Reprinting daily strips from the early 70s, and at the time this came out, these were only 2 or 3 years old. And then, of course, what I've already showed was the Destroy book, which I did an episode on. It's fun. And then also King Kong, which is actually from Gold Key. There's their Whitman imprint. The great George Wilson painted cover. And the adaptation of the movie, and I did a program on that. Now we have some more mainstream stuff. This is, I did an episode on this. This was a Marvel DC crossover, Superman and Spider-Man. Nice painted cover. One I did with, this is the second Superman Spider-Man crossover. I also have the first one somewhere. I've not seen it in years. I have no idea where it is. I would never have gotten rid of it. But fortunately, I do have a standard size comic version of it. Of course, that was done specifically for the tabloid size. And then also, I have 2 copies of this, which is Marvel DC crossover with Batman versus the Hulk, with great Jose Luis Garcia Lopez art in that. Then we get right into Marvel books. Of course, that Captain America Bicentennial Battles, which I already showed you. Giant Superhero Hollywood Holiday Grab Bag. I used one story from this for my holiday episode, although I couldn't see why it was included, because it didn't actually seem to have anything to do with Christmas. But it's a story I liked best in here. I used this one when Howard the Duck and the Defenders. Get down! Back cover. Yeah, it's rough shape, but you get what you can take. And it's quite readable. This is a great cover. I really like. Make a great t-shirt or poster, and may have been used for both. Spectacular Spider-Man with a great John Romita cover, with some interior stories by Steve Ditko, and some stuff by John Romita. As good as Ditko's stuff was, I just loved Romita's work on Spider-Man. He was my favorite Spider-Man artist. Giant superhero team up, and it's just mostly heroes fighting heroes. A variety of creators. And some of my favorite stuff here is Conan the Barbarian. Great Barry Smith cover. Interior stories. Yeah, all Barry Smith, late Barry Smith, during his run on Conan the Barbarian. Some Marvel stuff. Oh, Red Nails. It's my favorite. One of my favorite Conan stories. Probably my second favorite. Talons of Thakral. Great, I love that stuff. Another Conan the Barbarian. It's Conan on the Cross. The John Buscema cover. John Buscema interior art. Looks like Tony DeZuniga doing the inks on that. Yeah. It's all Marvel stuff. I love that. We'll get into some Conan the Barbarian one of these days. Another Conan the Barbarian with John Buscema cover. It's to his Alfredo Alcala. At least the inks. I think it's John Buscema is doing it. Yeah, John Buscema is doing the pencils with Alfredo Alcala doing the inks. Another one. I happen to have 2 copies of this one, and I really like this. John Buscema and Ernie Chan doing the cover with Red Sonja. Oh, that's a Gil Kane story. Great stuff. Here's another Barry Smith. On the back here, what we have? Alfredo Alcala. There we go. The Savage Fists of Kung Fu. Now this one I think was done specifically for this edition. To my knowledge, it might have been some from one of the magazines. I don't know, but this is of course has Shang-Chi primarily on the cover with Iron Fist and the Sons of the Tiger. Now the Sons of Iron Fist and Shang-Chi are still around, but Sons of the Tiger are no more, and the pendants, which give them their assist their power, has been combined into one person, the White Tiger, I think it is. And what's interesting about this is that it's all one story, but the first part is Shang-Chi, various artists, is an Iron Fist story, and the second part is what's his name? The Sons of the Tiger, and then it finishes up with Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. But they're all together as one overall story arc. And I have a second copy of that without cover. And then this is real unusual, from 1980, which is Spider-Man versus the Hulk at the Winter Olympics. Yeah, that was real unusual. And that was the year they had the Olympics at, I think it was Lake Placid, New York. And that was back when both Winter and Summer Olympics were presented in the same year, instead of staggering them every 2 years. And with interior art by Herb Trimp. Unfortunately, this one has no front cover. It's a big one. This is Doctor Strange. I thought I had another copy of this, or another Doctor Strange. I don't remember. If I do, I can't find it. With Steve Ditko art, and I think Dan Atkins, I think is that, and I don't know who all else. Gene Colan. So some good fun stuff. Great Jack Kirby cover here on the Avengers, and I think it's mostly John Buscema interior. Yeah, John Buscema interior art. This is something you may not be familiar with. Comic adaptation of Close Encounters of the Third Kind by Marvel Comics. And this is published by Whitman, which means it was this was done directly to like the department stores, bagged and sold in the department stores rather than on the newsstand. And then we have the parts 1 and 2 of the original Star Wars. This is before it was renamed A New Hope. And then here we have the adaptation by Jack Kirby of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and this damaged cover. Some great stuff in here, interior stuff. It was just right up his alley, and this led into the regular 2001 title regular comic, which didn't last that long. And then of course we have here Buck Rogers, which I did just a few weeks ago, and I have it here with Marvels just for convenience. Plus it says up there in the corner Marvel Comics Group, but it was actually done by Gold Key, and probably combined with Marvel to produce this particular edition. Okay. And here we are with DC, and this is probably the one I've got in the worst shape. It only cost me 50 cents. Of course, that was still several years ago. I don't even know the title of this one. It's an anthology. It starts off with a Batman story, but it's an anthology. It has a House of Mystery story in it. Some Superman, Western Fire Hair, Flash, and yeah, it's just different. And then this is one I've done before, Dick Tracy. This is, of course, the Dick Tracy comic strip, reprinting a story from the late 30s, early 40s. I've forgotten the date, and did a whole episode on this. This was my single most popular video, was on this issue of Dick Tracy, in which I covered the entire story and the art and the history, and it's good. Famous first editions. This is reprinting Superman #1. I think I had one that was also the reprint of Action Comics #1, but I have not seen that in years, and I don't know if I still have it. I don't know whatever happened to it. I used this one for one episode. Same thing goes for this one with Wiz Comics #1, which is the first appearance of Captain Marvel, the later Shazam. Captain Marvel, and they used that one. I haven't used this one yet. This is since reprinting Sensation Comics #1, the first appearance of Wonder Woman, and this is real unusual. Again, done specifically for this format, which is Superman versus Muhammad Ali. You know, that's unusual. I used to follow boxing, at least heavyweight boxing. I saw Muhammad Ali fight many times. That was when it was on regular network television, and I haven't watched it since it's been on pay-per-view and stuff. I'm not going to do that. One of the things here is in the crowd, there's a whole bunch of the DC characters in the crowd, as well as real personalities from DC. Oh, right there, I think right there is Neil Adams himself. I think he even put Stan Lee in it over here. And it's got Jimmy Carter, who was president at the time. Right after Star Wars, so they got Star Warriors stuck in there. And with one magic word, Shazam. I happen to have 2 copies of this one. That's reprinting, that's covered by C.C. Beck. Reprinting some old Fawcett Captain Marvel stories. And then this one does the same thing, but it's got I didn't take it out of the plastic. A photo cover from the TV show of Shazam from the mid-70s. And I've done this one before, and I've got 2 copies of this. Another great C.C. Beck cover, and did an episode from a story for that. Then this one may look familiar too. I used this one for 2 episodes featuring Batman stories out of this volume. I really like that cover painting. It'd make a nice poster or t-shirt. I think that might have been done by Neil Adams. I'm not sure. Another Batman. This one recounts I think it was the original story featuring Ra's al Ghul, Denny O'Neil, and Neil Adams. I also have this. These stories were reprinted in regular comic format as well, but of course they were originally in regular comic format. And another Batman, another great Neil Adams cover. I have 2 copies of this one. More Batman reprint stories, like Batman's Strangest Cases. There's Batman Robin covers. A variety of time periods, I think. This is good. Yeah, some from the 60s and 70s. No, I didn't. I thought this had something from classic Batman. And this is something that's unusual. I actually have 2 copies of this, and I don't think this was done for wide circulation. I think it was for something specific, but I don't know. I've never seen it anywhere else. This is neat because it says official Metropolis edition, which makes me think it was only available in, was it Metropolis, Illinois? Amazing World of Superman. The articles, photographs, and a couple of reprinting stories, all in black and white. Of course, this in here is Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson representing the origin of Superman. And here we have Superman the movie and Superman 2. But these are not actually comic books. And unfortunately, I got some water damage on this, which is a shame. But what's different about these is that they're not comics. They're photographs, articles, and the like from each respective movie. And that the reason they did that, okay, is because Mario Puzo, who did the original story for Superman, and it was which covered both Superman 1 and Superman 2, but by the time it was made, very little of the original Mario Puzo story remained intact. But he got sole billing for it, and from what I understand, he had in his contract that if it was adapted to any other media other than just the movie, he would get $1 million, another $1 million. So when they did, instead of doing a direct novelization of the movies, they had two original Superman novels written by Elliot S. Maggin, and then with photo cover and photo section interior, and in conjunction with the movies, but not related directly to the movies. And then, since they couldn't do a comic adaptation, they did this in conjunction with those movies. Here we go. I really like this cover painting. Make a nice poster. I think it has been. Superman. We put a variety of stuff. Superman stuff, different various artists, and a center spread on how to draw Superman, done by Kurt Swan. Great, Kurt Swan, my favorite Superman artist. Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. The nice Mike Grell cover, and various reprint stuff, various artists. Some Kurt Swan, some other. I really love that splash panel though, the splash page. That's great. More Drew. And there's another one, Superman, rough shape, damaged cover. This says older stuff. Yeah, real old, much older stuff. And this, really like that. And a 3D diorama. Somebody used part of it. That's before I ever got it. And then here we have, I got them backwards, is Tarzan of the Apes and The Return of Tarzan, reprinting from the DC Tarzan comic book, done by the great Joe Kubert. And unfortunately, see this one has a 3D diorama on the back. Unfortunately, I left that one alone. Unfortunately, I cut it out and assembled it on Tarzan of the Apes. And then that's now long gone. Oh, I didn't get this out of the plastic. Superman versus Shazam. This is Captain Marvel, then Captain Marvel. And Superman, something has made them go crazy, and they're fighting each other, and they're just too evenly matched. And it takes the women, their relatives, to break them apart and restore them to sanity. And this is another unusual one, as Superman versus Wonder Woman, and done by the great Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Great artwork throughout. There's some great stuff, and this takes place during World War II, which places this directly on Earth 2 as opposed to Earth 1, because it was during World War II. And then this, which I did a whole episode on, DC's version, adaptation of the first part of the Bible from Genesis. But some great interior art on this one. You may recall if you saw that one. That was a really good one. And then we finish up with these. Back starting in 1999, they started publishing them again on a much smaller scale. And this one, I think it was the first one of the bunch, is a Marvel DC crossover, Superman and Fantastic Four. The beautiful cover. The cover was drawn by Dan Jurgens, who did some of the interior art, and painted by Alex Ross. Oy. Painted by Alex Ross. And these others were all Alex Ross. Justice League of America. Oh, great Alex Ross interior art. Fully painted. These were done, I think, on an annual basis. Superman, Peace on Earth, and I got this secondhand for like $5. The original price on these, cover price on them, was $10. They'd probably be $20 now. New. Same thing with Wonder Woman. Beautiful Alex Ross Wonder Woman. Great interior stuff. And then it finishes up with Shazam, Power of Hope. And more Alex Ross interior art. One thing I like about it here is it's got the costume with the sash and the flap on his costume. So you can get a good view of it. Yeah, you can kind of get it right there. And that's the version of his costume that I like best. And he did a really good job of giving him the likeness of an early, young Fred McMurray, who the character's image was originally based on by C.C. Beck. And that finishes that up. So I hope you enjoyed that. This took a little longer than I had anticipated, especially since I had to shoot it twice. So, you can see I got a whole bunch of these tabloid-sized books. Some of them you may be seeing again, because I'll be doing episodes on specific issues. Okay, and I also have to get the plastic bags so I can bag them up. But this sized bags are a little more unusual. And okay, hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. I had a lot of good reading in these, covering many years, and it's just a whole bunch of fun stuff. So please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Everything is appreciated. And remember, comics are art.